Okay, so I'm going to try and do this the best way that I remember to do this. Um, I used to record my dreams like I record everything else today. I don't record my dreams. What's interesting is I have found in my life that when I talk or record or write about what I dreamed about the previous night, that I actually create long lasting memories of what happened in that dream. Because it's interesting how dreams can be super detailed and super weird and crazy, and super nuanced. And then the moment you wake up from that dream, like for me, I can't go back into a dream. When I wake up, that's it. That's the end of the dream. But the moment that I wake up from that dream, I mean, people like disappear forever. The people that are created in my dream or that just seem so real but don't exist in real life, suddenly they disappear like forever. Like it's like the world is destroyed the moment I open my eyes. But I find that when I talk about the dreams, or when I have in the past, as I said, I remember them. And I haven't done this in a very long time. I used to actually write in a journal a little bit, but that's annoying because you have to get very descriptive, like, you know, with written verbal language as opposed to just talking, which I prefer to do, which is why I started a video journal many years ago. I'll talk about that someday, the video journal. Uh, and so I'm going to talk about my dream because I don't know, it was just super surreal and weird. And it's kind of a ghost story. It's a ghost story dream, actually. So, whoa, look at that lizard. There is a crazy lizard out this window right now. Oh, and there's a baby lizard. There's two lizards. Wow. Look at that thing. Oh, is one going to eat the other one? That'd be insane. So I get a call from a friend who I don't speak to, haven't spoken to in about 3 years. And he tells me that he's on his way to a funeral. Let's call this friend, let's call this friend David. So David, that's not his real name. I don't want to use his real name in real life. So David calls me up and he's like, we got to go to the funeral. And I was like, okay, can you give me a lift? And like, this guy never, I mean, I don't know if he has a car now, but he never used to have a car. But he's like, yeah, I'll give you a lift. Funny, he's married with a child now, but it just, that was not him before he was domesticated. Interesting wrinkle. And so we hop in his car and we're looking at, he has this weird sampler in his car, and it's Dave Matthews Band, but not played by Dave Matthews Band. It's a 50-track compilation of someone who I don't know covering Dave Matthews Band songs. And he hands it to me, and it's also an invitation to the funeral, which is super bizarre. So we're driving, and suddenly I realize that we're going to a funeral, and I'm wearing this shirt. And I say, David, I can't go to the funeral wearing this shirt. I'm gonna look like a schmuck, because he's changing into a suit. He's wearing a nicer looking shirt than this one, and he's got like a suit shirt and a tie underneath his other shirt. So we get there, we park at the place somewhere in a city. And it's funny as he goes, come on, we got to go. And he rushes off and then just disappears. So I put on his shirt. I walk over. I leave my cell phone in the car and I go, got to go get my cell phone. So I go back to the car, which he left running, by the way. And he said that was okay for some reason. I get my cell phone. I find the funeral after not being able to find the place. I go in there and there is there's 1,000 people. And I see people that I haven't seen since kindergarten. And everybody's ordering food and drinks. And I look for my circle of friends, my high school group of friends. And I see them sitting over in the corner, and it's funny. They're all sitting around, and they're sitting with people that I don't really care to talk to, some other people. And so I decided I'm just going to sit by myself. So I don't even bother saying hello. I walk to back towards the entrance to the back right. There's like this lounge. You go up. I went up these stairs. I go into the lounge, and there's a father and the daughter. They ordered drinks, but at the same time, someone was cleaning and sanitizing the seats. And this corrosive like cleaning agent had been put on everything, and it was bubbling and sizzling a little bit. And, they decided to walk off, and they said, "Could you watch our drinks for us?" And so I said, "Sure." And one of them looked like some sort of Guinness beer or something. I don't know. And I look across, and I see someone from high school who is now completely bald, just has like that, like George Costanza bald, like has like the ring around his head, and he's bald on top. And which is fine. I mean, listen, we're all aging. We're all aging in various ways. I clearly aging in my own way too. But I just found it interesting because it was just like, it was like seeing someone who you haven't seen in 20 years, and they're just like, they have like an old person appearance, and it was interesting. And then the funeral starts, and here is the reveal. The funeral is for the friend who drove me to the funeral. David, it was for David's funeral, and everybody, and by the way, I was so worried. I was so embarrassed. I was like, I can't go dressed like this. I needed, and I realized that there were other people that were wearing stuff that, wasn't as casual or wasn't as formal, and it was okay. And I guess, and they start the service, and it's funny is I didn't see his mom there at all, even though it was his funeral, but there were so many people, and I couldn't help but think that, like, I don't know, like that if it was my funeral, that there wouldn't be so many people, and like almost like a jealousy or something. I don't know. It was really weird, super, super weird thing to think in a dream, but that is, whatever, self-esteem or something. I don't know. And I was shocked that he had died because he was the one who drove me to the funeral. And it really tripped me out a lot. Like a lot really tripped me out. And that was really the end of the dream. I started to wake up, and that's what happens when you wake up. The world of that dream evaporates, and I'm left with heavy residual memories that slowly fade over time. But by talking about them, you actually, by transcribing them in this kind of way, it's like it creates little wrinkles in your brain that retain the memory forever. And so that was my weird dream. And then, there is a basis for the dream. In reality, my friend June passed away. He died. I actually got the news when I was here. And it's so weird to think that June is dead because we grew up together, and he died at the age of 32. And it's just so surreal to think that there are some people that just are not here anymore. And I think about him from time to time, mostly in disbelief that he's gone. We hadn't really been close or connected in many, many, many years. And so I guess when I think about him, I think more about like how crazy it is that he's not around anymore than actually missing him, which I kind of feel guilty about. But we weren't close, and we hadn't been for some time, but we had a really wonderful, long conversation the last time we spoke. And for that, I'm grateful. And the reason why I bring him up, because of this dream, because it was very similar. And the thing is, I had arrived at that funeral late. I mean, really late. I hit a lot of traffic on the way, and I had missed most of his funeral. I was bummed about that. And I had friends that like sort of, rubbed that in my face, which didn't feel good. And then we all went out to this like weird speakeasy place afterwards, after his funeral. That's what I was reminded of in this dream. My actual friend dying. And yeah, I don't know. It's just super weird dream where it turned out the person who had died had friggin' driven me to his own funeral. Super bizarre. So I came outside to tell my family that I had a crazy dream, and I find out that my son also had a crazy dream as well. What was your crazy dream?
My dream was getting eaten by Pac-Man, and Pac-Man pooping me out and getting eaten by you.
You know what's funny? That dream sounds a lot more palatable than the dream that I had. So, kind of would be nice to be a 5-year-old having 5-year-old dreams again, in some ways.